Hey, it's Brandon McGee here, state representative for the 5th Assembly District. That's Hartford and Windsor. Delighted that today it's the last day of session. And while many of us are super excited about that, there's still a lot of work ahead of us. We gavel out tonight at midnight, which means it's our last day here. And I wanted to take a moment just to share with you a few pieces of legislation that were passed through the House, through the Housing Committee, as well as other important bills to communities in the state of Connecticut, but also communities that are near and dear to many of my caucus members, the Black and Puerto Rican caucus. So I'm going to rattle off a couple numbers and names of bills because I really want you to understand and know how many important pieces of legislation that were passed this session. And I'm going to start off with our housing bills. House Bill 7066 basically were recommendations offered from the Department of Housing to address needs of housing units that are utilized by seniors and disabled adults. There were concerns, or at least recommendations, that the Fair Housing Committee provided to our committee, and we thought they were great recommendations and we moved forward with them. Another bill, House Bill 6291, a bill that increased the insurance coverage for households that qualify to be a family child care home or a group home child care provider, basically providing protections to child care providers who live in public housing and making sure that local housing authorities, local zoning boards are held accountable so that they're not able to disregard these types of opportunities that families take advantage of. Another bill that was very important to me was House Bill 5844. This is a really good one. They're all good, but this is a good one as well. That would require housing authorities to provide a voter registration card to new tenants to make it easier for them to register to vote. It's simple, but if you watched CTN when I debated the bill, I gotta tell you, it was not a pleasant conversation on the floor of the House of Representatives. Some of the things that were shared were very disheartening, but we did get it passed, and just know that barriers to the right to vote are still very much real, and it was very important to us that we passed that particular bill. House Bill 7229, requiring landlords to provide clear notices of fire suppressions. And that's about it under our Housing Committee. And the really cool thing about this is we're also Facebook Live. So if some of our folks on the Facebook Live have any questions, please drop your question and I'll be sure to answer it while we're going through this video. Other bills that were extremely important to the Black and Puerto Rican caucus and even the House Democrats in the state of Connecticut was passing the minimum wage bill. A long time coming, but we're so excited that the bill will be going to the governor's office. Actually, he already signed it, so that's a good thing. Paid family and medical leave, extremely important bill. Let me just clarify the bill so that folks will know their benefits. It's basically up to 12 weeks of paid time off if you or a family member gets sick. That's 0.5% of earnings deductions. It's well worth it for the assurance that you will not go bankrupt, and you can also support your loved ones when you are out on leave. Minority teacher recruitment, very important bill, but we were able to really dive deeper and provide some more directions to the Department of Education and also school districts. So we're really excited that this particular measure ensures local and regional school boards that they will employ at least 250 new minority teachers and administrators. So we're really, really excited about that. And just the last two important measures, the criminal justice reform. You know, I gotta say, this has been a very difficult session when you talk about criminal justice reform. A lot of the bills related to the Clean Slate Act, which was basically an opportunity for those with a previous background, formerly incarcerated. It would seal a number of years that an employer, a housing authority could look back into one's criminal history. And unfortunately, a lot of those measures died either in committee or on the floor of the House of Representatives or in the Senate. So while there's a police accountability bill being debated, there were a lot of bills related to the clean slate or the criminal justice reform package altogether did not make it. And I'll end off on the 2-year budget. The budget, I gotta tell you, the years that I've been here, this budget is something that our communities ought to be proud of. While we did not pick winners or losers, this budget reflects equity. It reflects an opportunity for many of the programs that I support, many of the programs that benefit so many people in the state of Connecticut will benefit greatly by this budget, especially Medicaid. Those who would have lost their benefits, that's been restored. Many of the violence prevention dollars have been restored, and other areas in our budget. So I'm really delighted to have voted on a package that would really continue to grow our economy and provide opportunities for those in the state of Connecticut. So thus, the 2019 legislative session, and I'm so delighted to represent the great people of the 5th Assembly District, Hartford and Windsor.